This presentation is all about dual enrollment. The purpose is to explain to you the opportunities that are available to you so that you can make good class choices for next year and thinking about what you're doing after high school and how dual enrollment can benefit you and the access that you have to it. So, a dual enrollment class is a class where you are simultaneously enrolled as a high school student and a college student at the same time. That's what the dual stands for. So you're both a college student taking a class while you're also earning a high school credit as well. So our dual enrollment opportunities at Alcoa High School are vast, and you can take courses at places like Maryville College or Pellissippi State or Roane State or TCAT. You can do that off campus, you can do that on campus, you can do that online. There's lots of different options, and so you have the opportunity to earn college credits while you're in high school. And there are many benefits to these courses, and there are specific requirements that you have to meet as well. So we're going to go over all of that information. Some of the benefits to dual enrollment are that it provides you an introduction to college level work and expectations because you're actually taking a college class. A lot of times you're doing that with a college professor. So you are getting a nice transition to what you're going to be expected to do after high school, but it's in a nice, safe environment because you're just taking one class or two classes at a time, or you're taking something here at the high school where you're doing it with a teacher here. So it's a good transition to what you're going to be expected to do after high school at a much lower stakes kind of opportunity because you're not just thrown into all college classes at the same time. So the credits that you earn in dual enrollment are college credits. So those things are accepted by most colleges and universities for any general education classes that you take, like English or math or psychology or a science class. It works similarly to AP. If you've taken an AP class or you know what that means, you take a test at the end where you can earn college credit. And it's kind of up to the college or university that you go to whether or how they accept that credit. So if you were going to the University of Memphis, for example, if you took a dual enrollment class, they would take a look at that class and they would say, yes, this transfers to our institution. It counts for the English credit that you took, and you don't have to take that class here at our college. Or if you were going somewhere out of state or maybe a smaller private college, they may say, yeah, it's great that you took this dual enrollment class. We'll let it count for elective credit for you. So it counts towards your degree, but it may not count for the specific English or math class that you have to take at our institution. So that is up to each individual college as to how they accept your credit. And if you have specific questions about that, we can go over those things together, or you can ask your school counselor. So there is something called the Dual Enrollment Grant. This is money, scholarship money that allows students to take 5 dual enrollment classes full tuition. So you do not have to pay for the class at Maryville College or Pellissippi. The Dual Enrollment Grant covers 5 academic classes for you. This does not include books or other fees, but like the tuition at those schools is taken care of. Something to keep in mind is that you have to maintain at least a 2.0 college GPA. So that is just the classes that you take in dual enrollment, not the classes that you take here at Alcoa High School. Remember, a 2.0 is like a C average to remain eligible for the dual enrollment grant. So if you have taken some dual enrollment classes at Alcoa High School already, like if you're in health science, you may have taken anatomy and physiology, that's dual enrollment with TCAT, or if you have been in some HVAC classes, those are dual enrollment with TCAT as well. Same thing with STEM technology with Mr. Allison or some of Mr. Kerr's computer information technology classes. You may have already been earning some dual enrollment credits while you're in high school. So those things you have had to maintain at least a C average in to be able to keep using the dual enrollment grant next year and in the future. So that's something we can look at together. You can ask your school counselor about if you have questions. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, when you take a dual enrollment class, whether it's here or off campus, you actually receive 1 point of added weight towards your GPA. So if you earned an A in a dual enrollment class, in any dual enrollment class, you would get a 5.0 on your GPA instead of a 4.0, or a B would be a 4.0 instead of a 3.0. So that's a good bonus for you if you are taking a dual enrollment class. Also, if you are taking dual enrollment classes at TCAT, either here at Alcoa on campus or off campus at a TCAT location itself, those classes count towards credit hours for a specific program, and they actually do not take away from the 5 courses covered by the dual enrollment grant. So you still have access to those 5 academic type classes through dual enrollment grant, even if you have taken TCAT dual enrollment hours already in high school or you want to continue doing that next year. So you have access to a lot of dual enrollment money. Some of the requirements for dual enrollment are specific to the institution, like specific to Pellissippi or specific to Maryville College or TCAT. So we work really closely with Pellissippi and Maryville College to help you register for dual enrollment. We work really closely with their dual enrollment coordinators at each college. They help us make sure that you are registered and that you have what you need taken care of. But if you are interested at taking dual enrollment at another institution, make sure that you talk with your school counselor about that, because these relationships with Pellissippi and Maryville College are already established. So we have a good working relationship and the schedules work out when we work together. So if you're interested in taking dual enrollment at another institution, you have to talk to your school counselor about that, and that has to be approved through administration. So for general education classes like English, math, science, social studies, those kind of things, you need to have the following GPA and ACT requirements met for Pellissippi. So at Pellissippi, they require you to have a 3.0 unweighted GPA and some different sub-scores in the ACT to take different classes. So this is why your ACT scores are important, not only for what you're doing after high school, but also to have access to dual enrollment classes as well. So if you have a 3.0 unweighted GPA, the sub-scores you need on the ACT are an 18 in English, a 19 in reading, to be able to do any type of English or social studies class. And then if you would like to take a dual enrollment math class at Pellissippi, you have to have at least a 19 in the math section to be able to take a dual enrollment math class. Oh, and that ACT score can be higher, and you can access different math classes through dual enrollment if you have a higher score in math. So those are some requirements for Pellissippi. I have some reminders about those things, like a graphic reminder, just because that's a lot of numbers to keep in your head. So that stuff will be posted to Google Classroom for you that you have access to. And also, something else to keep in mind at Pellissippi is these ACT requirements are in place if you have a 3.0 GPA, but if you have a 3.6 unweighted GPA or higher, the ACT scores can be a little lower if needed. So that's something else to keep in mind. A 3.6 unweighted GPA also lets you access some of these dual enrollment classes if you don't have the ACT score. So that's something that you can talk to your counselor about if you have any questions. Now, Maryville College is a little different. They require you to have a 3.0 unweighted GPA or a 21 on the ACT to access different dual enrollment classes. So if you have a 3.0 unweighted GPA or a 21 on the ACT, you can access dual enrollment classes at Maryville College. For CTE classes at Pellissippi or through TCAT, students have to have a 2.0 unweighted GPA, so that's a C average, and a minimum of 13 in all subject areas. So the requirements are different for general education or academic versus CTE classes. So that's something that you have access to as well. Students who are enrolled in a college course, so you're enrolled at a course through Pellissippi or through Maryville College or TCAT that's not on our campus here, like not with one of our teachers. Something to keep in mind is that you have to follow that college's rules and academic schedule. So if you're going to Pellissippi for dual enrollment, you have to follow their spring break and fall break and those kind of things, and snow days may be different. It's going to be different than our schedule here. So we have a 2-week fall break, but if you're enrolled at a class at Pellissippi or Maryville College, are not going to have a 2-week fall break. So you will go to class during those times because you are enrolled as a college student. So that's also something to keep in mind. You are not only to follow Alcoa High School schedule, but also the college's schedule that have different breaks and snow days and those kind of things. So, some possible costs that you may be responsible for if you choose to take dual enrollment classes. Your costs are very low because the dual enrollment grant does cover the tuition cost for these classes, especially in comparison to just a normal college credit. Like we talked about before, the dual enrollment grant is a scholarship that is full tuition for at least 5 classes, and you have to maintain that 2.0 college GPA to continue to receive the dual enrollment grant. That's very important for you to keep in mind, because if you fall below that requirement and you are taking a dual enrollment class, then you will have to pay for that class. So some other things that students are responsible for when taking dual enrollment off campus at Pellissippi, Maryville College, or TCAT is that purchase of textbooks, or if you rent a textbook, the grant does not cover that. Alcoa High School doesn't pay for that. That's something that you would be responsible for paying for. Some classes require e-textbooks. That's not like a physical book that you have, but it's something online that you have to have access to, so you would be responsible for paying that. Also, some courses require, CTE courses may require different equipment or other things that you're responsible for purchasing. So just make sure that you're aware of that. Don't mind the bell. If you have concerns or trouble paying for books or other fees that you're responsible for and you're afraid that's going to keep you from dual enrollment, be sure you talk to your counselor about it, because even though we're unable to just like pay for everybody's books and all of that for college courses, we want you to be able to access these things. So if you feel like that's going to be a barrier for you, talk to your school counselor and we can help you figure that out. So some typical dual enrollment classes that students take. Like I said before, Pellissippi and Maryville College are our big dual enrollment partners. We have students take lots of classes through those institutions in a variety of ways. So at Pellissippi, this is a list of typical classes that students take, anything from English to different types of math classes, to science, to foreign language, psychology and sociology, anything that does not require any class that does not require a prerequisite, like that you could take as a first-year freshman in college. You can access those classes through dual enrollment. You are eligible to take those things as long as you meet the GPA and ACT requirements. We also have students do different things at Pellissippi that are non-academic, like PE classes or, art classes or different things that are like career related. So those are options as well, as long as they don't have prerequisites. And remember, for your senior year, a lot of times the things that you have left to take are an English class and a math class, and econ and personal finance. And English and math are things that a lot of our seniors take as dual enrollment because it counts as your English credit that you need for high school and your math credit that you need for high school. And it also gives you college credit at the same time. So those are very typical classes for our students to take. At Pellissippi, you can take classes in person, like, you're sitting in the seat, you're at the college, you're with a professor, and you take a class that way. Or like an English composition class, that would be your English 4 class. Or Pellissippi also offers classes to students online. So you can take that class synchronously online, which means you meet at a certain time, you log on to your computer, you're on the class from, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 o'clock to 8:50, sitting with the professor and other students and taking your class just like you would in person, except it's online. There are also online classes at Pellissippi called asynchronous classes. So what that means is a class that you take that's not at a certain time of day, it's not a certain day of the week. You're given all of your class information up front or throughout the semester, your professor says, this is the information you need to get done. These are the assignments you have. These are the due dates. Here's the papers. This is when they're due. And you may have to log on certain days for certain things or come in to the campus to take a test. But it's just up to you to get your work turned in on time by the due dates. You can ask your professors for help, but they're not going to be as accessible as they would in an in-person or a synchronous online class. So that's just something to keep in mind. That's very doable and helpful for some students, and it's very bad for other students. So just make sure that you are going to take classes that are going to be beneficial, a beneficial format to you. If you know that you are somebody that is motivated to get work done ahead of time and to stay on schedule, and you're good with the flexibility of being able to turn stuff in when you know, at your own pace, then an asynchronous online class would be great for you. If you're someone who procrastinates a lot or, you know, needs somebody to monitor what you're doing and you need someone to hold you accountable for turning stuff in, an asynchronous class would not be for you. So those are just different formats that these classes are offered and things to keep in mind. So another college option to consider is Maryville College for dual enrollment. Maryville College classes are all in person, so they do not offer any online options, but they have a class that they offer to our students that is typically taught during first block on Maryville College's campus. So either like Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 to 8:50, or Tuesday, Thursday sometimes from like 8 to 9:15. And this class is their English class, so it counts for your English class here and a college credit. And they offer that class to just high school students. So you will be in an English composition class on Maryville College campus, but you will be in the class with just high school students. So just students from maybe just Alcoa High School, maybe Alcoa High School and some of our other Blount County high schools. So that is a very nice transition to college for a lot of students because you're taking that college class, it's college level work, but your peers are all people that are your same age and going through the same things, as opposed to maybe a dual enrollment class you're taking at Pellissippi that is just anybody and everybody is taking that class. So it's traditional college students, it's non-traditional college students, maybe adults going back to school. So that's something to keep in mind when you're thinking about what kinds of classes you want to take. Also, for Maryville College dual enrollment classes, they offer those nice English classes, but they also offer, we'll wait on the bell. They also offer math classes in person at Maryville College as well. But something to keep in mind for those math courses at Maryville College is that you have your in-person section of the class, but you will also have a lab associated with that math class. So you may have your calculus class on Monday, Wednesday, Friday that fits nicely into your first block from 8 to 8:50. But then you'll have a lab on a different day of the week, maybe like a Thursday at 2 o'clock. So it's actually going to take up more space in your schedule. Sometimes that works for seniors and sometimes it doesn't. So those are just some things to keep in mind when thinking about what kinds of classes that you want to take and where you want to take those classes. These are some dual enrollment classes that are currently taught on our campus with our teachers here at Alcoa High School. So there are a lot of things through our health science classes like anatomy and physiology and our clinicals class where you are also earning dual enrollment credit through TCAT. Same thing with our HVAC classes and our STEM technology classes and our computer information technology classes. You're taking those things here at Alcoa High School with Mr. Allison or Mr. Browning or Mr. Kerr, and you're earning high school credit and college credit at the same time. And remember, those are things that if you have taken those courses throughout high school already, we will need to make sure that we request transcripts for those things to go on to Maryville College or Pellissippi or TCAT if you're wanting to take additional dual enrollment classes next year. We also offer a class right now with Roane State. through our health science program, and we are always looking to add additional courses that we can teach to you here through dual enrollment. So those things change from year to year. So make sure that you're paying attention to those things as we're having registration meetings and talking about registration for next year. Something else that you need to know about dual enrollment is that as you earn those college credits, it is your responsibility to request a transcript from the college. So like if you took a class at TCAT already, like your anatomy and physiology or your STEM technology class, you will need to request a transcript to be sent to Maryville College or Pellissippi, or whatever class you're taking, whatever college you're going to, after high school. So if you took dual enrollment next year, you earn those credits at Pellissippi or Maryville College, it is your responsibility to request your transcript from those institutions to get your college credit. So if I were going to Vanderbilt after graduation, that's my plan, I'm enrolled there, and I took 5 dual enrollment classes at Pellissippi, then I would need to request my transcript from Pellissippi to be sent to Vanderbilt. On your Alcoa High School transcript, it will show that you took dual enrollment classes, but the college or university that you are attending, whether that's a 2-year school, a 4-year school, or a TCAT, they will not give you college credits for those classes from your Alcoa High School transcript. So that's why it's important for you to know that you need to request that transcript from the college where you completed the dual enrollment course to be able to count that credit for you wherever you're going after high school. Remember, transcripts are private legal documents, so we or your school counselor or Mr. Egan, we cannot request the transcript for you. You have to do that, and if you have questions about that, we can go over that. You can always ask your school counselor, or that's something else that we will go over in dual enrollment meetings as well. So each college will have a process for requesting transcripts. Like Pellissippi and Maryville College both have a transcript request form that you fill out online, that you tell them where you want your transcripts to go. So it's just important that you keep that in mind when you're thinking about taking more dual enrollment classes and when you're thinking about taking your credits with you to college. So, some important reminders for you are to pay close attention to deadlines and complete the steps that are given to you that you need to make sure that you're on track for dual enrollment. There are deadlines for the dual enrollment grant. There are deadlines to register for classes and applications for Maryville College and Pellissippi. So make sure that you're paying attention to those things and you complete the necessary steps. When things are given to you through advisory meetings or through video, dual enrollment stuff, information that's posted on Google Classroom, make sure that you are following the things that are asked of you to do, because that's how we make sure that you're staying eligible and staying on track to do dual enrollment. Also, don't wait until the last minute. If you wait until the last minute to do things, sometimes you miss out on deadlines because it takes a while for transcripts to process and other paperwork to process. So make sure that you're doing things on time, and as we're going through things together, make sure you get them taken care of, because sometimes things take a little longer to process and you might miss some deadlines. Also, use a personal email address when you're filling out the dual enrollment application or grant application, when you're filling out applications for a post-secondary institution to take dual enrollment classes, because you won't always have this Alcoa High School email, and the place where we fill out the dual enrollment grant is actually a portal where you will fill out other types of applications as well, like the Tennessee Promise application and other scholarships. So make sure that you use a personal email and not your Alcoa High School one. And also, very important, make sure that you realize that your dual enrollment classes that you're taking off campus must work with your Alcoa High School schedule. So if you're taking dual enrollment classes as a junior, or if you're taking dual enrollment classes as a senior, those things have to coordinate with your Alcoa High School schedule. You cannot come into school to a class at Alcoa late or leave a class here that you're sitting in early to go to a dual enrollment class. You wouldn't be able to come in late or leave early from a Pellissippi or Maryville College class, so you cannot do that here. I know that, at this point in the spring, we don't know necessarily what our schedules are going to be next year. That's okay. We can be very flexible about that's why we have close relationships with Pellissippi and Maryville College, so we can help you think about those things and work those things out. But just keep that in mind that they have to work with your Alcoa High School schedule. So it's best to schedule things, try to at the very beginning of the day or at the end of the day, or even do some things asynchronous if that would work for you and you're a junior, especially when you don't have a lot of wiggle room in your schedule. As a senior, you have a lot more wiggle room, so keeping things at the beginning of the day or the end typically works out. And also, just remember that you have to be scheduled in 3 classes each semester as a senior. You have that option if you're on track to graduate. So you can have an early dismissal or a late arrival, but you have to have 3 out of 4 classes scheduled. So that either means dual enrollment classes or classes here in person at Alcoa High School, or a combination of the two. So if you wanted to do all dual enrollment classes the fall semester of your senior year or the spring semester of your senior year, you can definitely do that. Just keep in mind that if you are doing dual enrollment classes only, you're not going to be here on campus to maybe get some of the information that other students are getting in person, so you're just going to have to be on top of checking Google Classroom and making sure that you know what's going on. But you do have that option. You just have to be scheduled in 3 classes each semester. So whether that is 1 dual enrollment and 2 classes here at the high school, vice versa, 3 dual enrollment classes, you just have to be scheduled in 3. So you've learned about what dual enrollment is. So now what is the process? So you need to decide which classes you want to take. Do you want to take dual enrollment and math, or dual enrollment English and math next year to get those credits taken care of for high school credit and college credit? As we have individual registration meetings, we'll talk about those things. We can answer questions about coursework. We can kind of discuss how that's going to look in your schedule and what your options are. But that's what you need to be deciding right now. What classes do you want to take, and which college do you want to attend? Do you feel like Maryville College or Pellissippi is going to be your best bet? So the next things that you need to do as well, we're going to have several dual enrollment meetings throughout the spring coming up, where you need to attend if you are planning on taking dual enrollment classes. They'll be during the school day, so you will have time to come and get your things taken care of. So the first meeting that we'll have is going to be during advisory on April 12th, and this will be for all students who want to take dual enrollment classes. We're going to meet together on that Friday during advisory to fill out the dual enrollment grant, to take care of dual enrollment applications at Maryville College and Pellissippi. So all students who want to do dual enrollment need to be in the College and Career Center during advisory on Friday, April 12th to get those things taken care of. Then, if you want to take classes at Maryville College, or you have questions about Maryville College classes, or you want to kind of compare and contrast the benefits of taking classes at Maryville College or Pellissippi, our dual enrollment coordinator from Maryville College, Ariel Kilday, will be here on Friday, April 12th, to talk to you about dual enrollment at Maryville College, so you can make some good decisions about what institution is right for you. And if you decide that Maryville College is the place where you want to take dual enrollment classes, or one of the places, she's actually going to register you for classes on that day. So it is very important that you attend that first meeting. Then, if you decide that you don't want to take classes at Maryville College, but you do still want to do dual enrollment at Pellissippi, or if you want to take classes at Maryville College and also classes at Pellissippi, that's an option as well. That requires a little more paperwork because they have to share your dual enrollment grant, but that's something we can talk about at that time. So you need to attend the meeting on Friday the 12th, and then we will have another meeting on Thursday, April 25th. We have an extended first block because of testing, so we'll actually meet during that time in the College and Career Center, and you will get registered for classes at Pellissippi with Spencer Joy, who's the dual enrollment specialist at Pellissippi. So if you just want to find out more about your options for dual enrollment at Pellissippi, or you want to know for sure you want to attend classes at Pellissippi for dual enrollment, it is required for you to come to that meeting, meet with Spencer, get your requirements taken care of, and get registered for classes. So those are the things coming up that you need to make sure that you are doing and taking care of. again, this is another reminder about dual enrollment meetings to attend. It will be similar every year. We'll have, a general information session about dual enrollment, and then we'll have follow-up meetings where we take care of the actual things that you need to do dual enrollment classes. So the dual enrollment grant, institution applications, and then meeting with our dual enrollment partners to get you registered for classes. So it's really important that you attend these things and get the paperwork, documentation things taken care of to make sure you can take classes. So one thing that we are going to make sure we do together Friday, April 12th, and you can do this beforehand if you want, but we are going to apply for the dual enrollment grant. You do this through something that's called a TSAC student portal. If you have taken dual enrollment classes before, you've already created an account here, so it will be the same login information that you've already created. If you haven't, you need to make sure that you register for the dual enrollment grant, but also keep this information, your username and password. Remember it, because this is the same login and account that you will use to complete the Tennessee Promise Scholarship. And remember, try not to use your Alcoa City Schools email address. Use your personal. That's always kind of a best practice because these are things you might need access to after you graduate from high school, even though that seems far away. That's just something to keep in mind. So I'm going to play this little video. It's quick about how to actually create your student portal account so that you can get that taken care of.
This is your financial aid minute about creating a TSAC student portal account. Go to college4tn.org and under Money for College, click TSAC Student Portal. Scroll down the page, click Register. From the login screen, click Create a Login. A few tips as you complete the form. The username will only allow letters and numbers. For passwords, we suggest your school mascot plus grad year plus a special character. Answers to challenge questions must contain at least 4 letters and cannot contain your username, first name, or last name. Once created, log into your account to review your state aid eligibility and complete applications for the Dual Enrollment Grant, Tennessee Promise, and more. For information about grants and scholarships, please check out Tennessee Financial Aid under Money for College at college4tn.org.
All right, so you see there that to apply for the dual enrollment grant, it's actually a 2-step process. So you create a login for the TSAC student portal by filling out the information, and then you will come to a link that says log back in. So then you click on that and it'll take you back to the login screen, and instead of clicking create a login, you put in the username and password you just made and click login, and there you will see options to apply for different scholarships and grants. So you will click apply, and sorry, this is very outdated because we're not doing dual enrollment application for 21-22 anymore. So you will click apply. When you log back into the TSAC student portal, there's a link, a tab at the top left that says apply, and then you're going to scroll down and click dual enrollment application. This one will be for next school year, right? So 2024-2025. And so from there, you complete all parts of the student information section. Some things to keep in mind that students usually have questions about is there's a question about your date of residence. And so if you were born in Tennessee, the date of residence is your birth date. If you were not born in Tennessee, you just kind of take your best guess as to when you moved here and put a date in for that. If you get through that information, or once you do, there's also a place to select the college or university where you're taking dual enrollment classes. So this is where you're going to pick the institution where you want to take dual enrollment, and this is something you can edit later. So this is another reason why it's important to remember your username and password, because if you need to edit any information in this application, you can. So if you are going to take classes at Pellissippi, you find Pellissippi State in the drop-down menu. It's in alphabetical order, and you click that. If you are going to take classes at Maryville College, you put Maryville College in this section. TCAT Knoxville, that's what you put there. If you're taking dual enrollment classes at multiple institutions, you're going to take a class at Pellissippi and Maryville College in one semester. What you'll want to do here is put Pellissippi first, and then we will do what's called a consortium agreement that you can have the funds sent from Pellissippi to Maryville College, or Pellissippi to TCAT, if and vice versa. If you're doing Maryville College and TCAT, make sure you put Maryville College first, and then the same thing, we'll do a consortium agreement and we will help you get that taken care of. Once you have applied, you've done your TSAC account, you've logged back in to apply for the dual enrollment grant, you can click View Summary, and that will verify to you that you've actually completed the dual enrollment grant and it is pending. Okay? We don't need that. So, next
this is your
thing,
financial.
Here is a checklist for Pellissippi State if you are planning on doing dual enrollment classes there. They have a very helpful website. It's listed here, so it's just pstcc.edu/dual. And this checklist is also very clear with links and things on their website. So you can see here I've clicked on the link. This is their dual enrollment information. So it's like, how do you qualify? It gives you reminders about the different ACT and GPA requirements that you need. It gives information about how to pay for it and for parents. And then it gives you a little dual enrollment checklist here. So if you've never done dual enrollment before, it gives you your checklist. So first you need to apply to Pellissippi. You can click on the link and do a Pellissippi account. Apply for the dual enrollment grant. You click on that link. It takes you to this TSAC student portal where you can create your account or log in. There is an immunization waiver that you're required to do for Pellissippi, so you can click on that. It takes you to an online form. If you're under 18 years old, you have to have a parent signature, so you can talk with your parents about that. But that's required for Pellissippi as well. And then after you do these first 3 steps, you need to ask your high school to send your transcript to Pellissippi. So that would be Mr. Egan, right? You go to the Student Affairs office, ask him to send your transcript to Pellissippi for dual enrollment, or you can email him and ask him the same question. And that way, they have to have that information, remember, to verify your GPA and your ACT scores, and also to make sure that you still qualify for other dual enrollment classes if you've taken them before. So those are your first 4 steps, and then you're going to register for classes after all of that is processed, and that is what we're going to do together with Spencer at our meeting at the end of April, actually register for classes. So all of these first 4 steps have to be taken care of before you can register for classes. So one good source of information for you is, let me go back, sorry. The email for dual enrollment is very responsive. There is someone that helps Spencer answer emails, and she is Johnny on the spot with getting back to you if you have questions or getting you information that you need. So if you have questions or concerns about dual enrollment with Pellissippi, this is the email address to contact them, dualenrollment@pstcc.edu. Super responsive, very helpful. After you register for dual enrollment, like you do your application, you get all those checklist items taken care of from the previous slide, you will actually receive confirmation of attendance from Pellissippi to your email. So whatever email you put on the application, they're going to send you some steps to complete after you're done with your registration. So this is some information about how to access that in your Pellissippi account. You'll have a My Pellissippi account. This is where you'll be able to register for classes, look to see if you have other fees that you need to take care of, and all of that information. So you'll be assigned a P number, which is a Pellissippi number. It's like a student ID number. So this is some information about how to set up your My Pellissippi account, and you will get an email with very specific instructions on how to do that. And if you have questions about it, Spencer will be available on the 25th, and also, through email. And we will actually be able to sit down together and kind of take care of some of this stuff, either at the end of this school year or the very beginning of next school year, to make sure you know how to navigate the space for your My Pellissippi account. So you can read this information, pause it here, and kind of look through these steps if needed. So, in taking classes at Pellissippi, make sure you look for classes that are during kind of the first half of the school day or the last half of the school day, just kind of some reminders. That's easiest to fit in your schedule, and this allows us to work around other requirements for courses here at Alcoa, like econ and personal finance, that's usually offered second and third blocks, other CTE classes that you might need to finish for your elective focus. And registration is going to be open later this month. I'm recording this a little sooner than normal. So for fall 2024, not 2023, those classes will be available in the next couple of weeks. And by the time Spencer comes on the 25th, classes will be available for registration. So we'll be able to get that done with him. So as soon as your paperwork has been taken care of, we can send your transcripts. So remember, Mr. Egan does that. You can ask him in person or through email. If you do not hear anything else from this presentation, make sure that you do not wait until July or August to start working on these steps, because it takes time to process the information. Classes fill up. They do not plan classes at Pellissippi or Maryville College like we do here. They just offer the class, and when it fills up, it fills up. They do not do classes based on student requests, how we do things here. So make sure that you are not waiting to the last minute, that you are following these steps now and getting your stuff taken care of and finalized and finished before we leave school for the summer. So here's a similar checklist for Maryville College. You're going to complete the dual enrollment grant, just like we showed earlier, a little clip about how to do that if you haven't done that before. And even if you have done the dual enrollment grant for this school year, you have to fill it out every year. So you would still need to log in and fill out the dual enrollment grant application for the 2024-2025 school year. Then you're going to apply for dual enrollment at Maryville College, apply. So this is their website. They have a whole Highlander dual enrollment application. So you're going to click on that to get that situated and filled out. They have like applying for admission, overview, all of that good stuff. So they have their application available in April, and then they have a place where you can look at the courses that are going to be offered. Because like I said, at college, they offer classes and you just have to fit yourself into them. They don't give things to you based on, what students need. They just have the classes, and when they fill up, they fill up. So this kind of gives you some more information about that. So you will apply for dual enrollment at Maryville College, and then at Maryville College, you actually meet with Ariel Kilday to register for classes. So unlike Pellissippi, where yes, we'll meet with Spencer to register for classes, but we do that online and you can do it on your own. At Maryville College, we meet with Ariel to get that taken care of. So that's what we will be doing on Friday, April the 12th during advisory. If you have questions or concerns about Maryville College dual enrollment classes, Ms. Kilday is the person to reach out to. Her email is here. And you can also contact the admissions office if you want to talk to somebody. So that is kind of your process for Maryville College. So after you have been to all of these dual enrollment meetings, then what do? Again, you're deciding what classes you want to take and at which college. You're completing the dual enrollment grant application. That should be done. You have completed the other requirements for the application. So like you've requested your transcript. You have requested a transcript from TCAT if you have taken other dual enrollment classes, those kind of things. And then you're going to register for classes. So that's kind of the whole process. We make sure that we have the meetings in person during advisory and other times to help you walk through the steps and make sure you're getting what you need. But if you have questions along the way, let Mr. Sudderth or Ms. Farrell know. That's what we're here for, to help you through that. Here's some links to other documents about dual enrollment at Maryville College and Pellissippi. And if you have any questions, reach out to your counselor. We are happy to help you. and we will walk through this process with you together. One thing that I did want to remind you about again is where you find that TSAC student portal information. If you go to College for TN's website, College for TN, like Tennessee TN.org, and you go to the TSAC student portal page, you will find like what do you use the TSAC, just some information about TSAC student portal. What do you use it for? Some how-to videos. This one we already watched, and this one is specific to applying for Tennessee Promise. And then you can find places to register for the TSAC student portal. So you can get more information there. Has a lot of good information on College for TN about lots of different things. So that TSAC student portal information is there. And also I will post this for you, but it's just kind of some general reminders about the requirements for dual enrollment. So Maryville College, their reminders or their requirements, are a little more straightforward. So it's that 3.0 GPA or a 21 on the ACT or pre-ACT. If you've taken the pre-ACT, that 21 counts for them too. There are also links on here to their dual enrollment website, which we have already looked at together, and also to the dual enrollment grant. Again, more information about the dual enrollment grant itself. So that's on this for Maryville College, and then the requirements at Pellissippi. Remember, those are a little different. So that's the 3.0 unweighted GPA plus certain subscores in English reading and math, or a 3.6 unweighted GPA. And then to add math classes, you do have to meet these ACT scores no matter what your GPA is. So those are all things to keep in mind. And again, there's links on these as well about dual enrollment for Pellissippi and the dual enrollment grant. So that is going to be in Google Classroom for you. And if you have any questions or concerns, make sure that you talk to your school counselor or send us a little email, and we will see you in dual enrollment meetings.